Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in miniatures, and boy am I happy because my most desired Joytoy 40k figure finally arrived. I swore up and down for the longest time that I wasn't going to buy any of these things until they did a Custodes. Well, they went and they've made multiple Custodes at this point. So this is the Allarus Terminator Armor. This is Ossier Archimaxis. Okay. But yeah, these are 1/18 scale figures, which is what Joytoy has been making their bread and butter for quite a few years now, which also tends to be the same size as G.I. Joe figures, and you can see here that the packaging and the size of the packaging continues to grow as Joytoy continues to see success. And these are just human-sized models, never mind what really, I think, put them on the map for a lot of collectors were their big, both, what were they, 1/25th or something, but the 1/18th scale mecha that they have as well. And if you guys really want to see one of those, somewhere I've got one of the die-cast ones. Well, that's like going to have to devote its own video to. Now, one of the things with the Joytoy figures, I think I've shown this guy before, they do tend to come with a ton of accessories. So if you are somebody like me who grew up with G.I. Joe action figures and loved all the amount of extra goodies they came to tinker with, I know that the early 2000s line was one of my all-time favorites in terms of just sheer amount of junk included, to the point where I had no idea what was what anymore, or who came with what. Anyways, so much bigger package, and I'm noticing we're seeing a lot more English on the packaging, which is smart. Now, there were a couple of other Custodes variations released in this initial batch. This is the first of them that were done, coincidentally, in Terminator armor rather than the traditional Custodes style armor. I'm assuming we'll see those as well at some point, but you can see here he's got multiple hands, he's got his Misericordia, he's got the axe instead of the spear. There are both options, except I do want to say that the one that came with the spear was unhelmeted, or maybe he had an optional helmet, and then the other had the Auxilia, but I really wanted a helmeted one. So yeah. So, just about every Joytoy figure is going to come packaged like this. You have the double tray with the protective cover. That's quite noisy. I have not even opened this yet, so I'm quite eager to see it myself. My initial reaction is it's a lot more bronzy than gold, but that's okay. The headdress top knot is a separate piece, as are the sections of his blade. I'm assuming that's so you can actually hold on to it, and they're actually pretty hard plastic rather than the usual bendy stuff. Misericordia is nice and hard. Take a look at the actual figure here. Definitely a nicer paint job than anything I could have surmised. I love the detail. You can see here he's got all of his jewelry, and even the filigree is a bit embellished so that it stands out a little bit more. He's got whatever those are called, and I'm sure somebody will come in here and remind me, much like the Romans, those leather straps. Grenade launcher. I mean, everything's movable, everything's rotatable. The skirt itself is a rubber. And then the waist armor, just hip armor, whatever, attaches to that. I'm assuming that, yes, our Misericordia is going to plug right in. I'm not sure which direction it's supposed to go. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out later. Joints are nice and solid. As we said earlier, he's got a ton of extra hands. Let's get your top knot for you. Not that you can all see it. There we go. I should totally open up my Space Marine, and then also that's on a nice little joint there. So if the whole front piece gets in the way, you can position it in a separate spot. And I'm assuming that head is actually going to be removable, much like most of the Joytoy heads are. Glad the people on the road want to race their bikes down the street in front of me. Did I put that backwards? Probably. Let me see. There we go. And he cuts in a nice, solid, impressive figure. I might as well open up the Space Wolf here, so you guys can get him for scale. Ooh, mess. Everything in the box just went. There we go. That's about what I expect a Custodes to look like in comparison to a Marine. Stand down, boy. Funny thing is, you know, these things are all in scale with each other, so if you have any of the actual human Joytoy stuff, they're all in scale as well. So, like, I don't know if I've shown any of these, but they have been putting out a bunch of, you know, Chinese martial arts, wuxia-inspired figures as well. So you can get a real interesting sense of scale, and there's been a whole bunch of those types of figures. She doesn't like to stand up very well. I'm gonna have a grizzled monk. I love the head sculpts on these things. So you can see there's a nice variety in terms of just the human size stuff. I was almost expecting our Custodes to be about the size of the heavy infantry that Joytoy has made. I don't know if I've ever shown this one. They're almost the same height. Almost. But this is like a dude in a suit. It's actually a repaint of the first one they made, which is equally nice. I think I showed a video on that, maybe. And if I didn't, if you guys want to see any of these things, I've got quite a few. And if I don't have it, then Sparkletrot himself probably does. And another fun fact that I don't know if I've ever mentioned, maybe I have, but the Shoto and Yudo figures that Bandai make tend to actually be in scale too. So if you wanted to have G.I. Joe versus Kamen Rider versus Super Sentai versus 40K, by all means, that's something you can do. So fun stuff is definitely to be had. I mean, just big, massive figures like that. I am super happy to have him. I'm sure he's going to be keeping me company on my desk at work or up on my computer where I'm having to hopefully not delete files from videos that I haven't posted yet, which I continue to do, and it's driving me insane. But yeah, this honestly was the #1 model I was hoping that Joytoy was going to make. The close second would probably have been a Primaris Chaplain. I really like the Primaris Chaplain design, and funny enough, I don't know if we've actually gotten a Chaplain yet, but Joytoy did just announce that this limited edition dude, the Skulls Terminator Chaplain, is actually going to be getting a action figure, which is really cool. This guy was incredibly hard to track down. And you want to see something obscure, this guy is definitely it. I don't even remember what I paid for him. I think he's long gone. Maybe he's been in some of those made-to-order ones. And he's plastic. That's the thing that drives me nuts. it's a great sculpt. And the fact that, you know, they were going for like almost 100 something. Just this dude. I didn't pay that much. I mean, I was tempted to pick up one of those recast ones, but I never got around to it, and you can't seem to find any of those anymore. So that's probably for the better. But yeah, this guy's getting a 1/18 figure just like these. So that's something that sounds exciting. Do keep your eyes peeled. I don't know if GW's carrying this stuff. I mean, I've always gone through Show Z, which has been great with this. Big Bad Toy Store carries a lot of this stuff. I mean, depending on where you are in the world, you might have stores that are a lot more convenient and close by. But definitely happy to see these in all their chunkiness. I mean, it barely fits in my palm. I mean, that's a model. It's a man of a model. But, yeah, hopefully we still see some traditionally armored Custodes, because I am sure I'll grab one of those too. I mean, dare I even hope we see something like, oh, what's his name? Trajan? That would be cool. Trajan was the Primarch dude, right? With his lizard stuff all over. I can't get that stupid Misericordia in place, but yeah, fun stuff. So, happy hunting. Keep your eyes peeled for them, and hopefully you will enjoy your Custodes just as much as I have. And with that said, then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.